Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So we have a brand new golf ball in the house to test this morning. Brand new Chromesoft. So some fairly well documented improvements, changes to the Callaway line, certainly to try and get the Callaway golf ball to be considered one of the best in the game.
Definitely.
This expansion in the line, I think, will certainly help get it in the hands of some better players. I think Chromesoft always had a bit of a reputation for being a spinny golf ball.
I agree, yeah. So the X model, which we've tested, I think the compression probably matched like my club head speed better.
Yeah.
But you're right, it probably didn't offer someone the firm compression and low spin, which the TP5X and like a left dash Pro V1X.
And that's we're already planning. That's the follow-up test to this one. Today, I think the important thing is within the Chromesoft line, how does this golf ball stack up against the X, the previous firm golf ball? But beyond that, it's going to be how is it relative to the market, to the competitors.
Exactly, and why would you choose one over the other?
Exactly. I've done a little bit of testing with it. It's quick.
You were saying that, yeah.
I definitely have seen some, now, hard to tell how much its contribution played a part, but I saw the quickest ball speeds I had ever seen off of a driver with this golf ball.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty hopeful that it's pretty quick. My curiosity is how is it on green side spin?
I was just going to say, is this a driver golf ball?
Yeah.
And if so, then it's going to be a bit of a niche product. But if it is well balanced throughout the bag, they may actually have the opportunity to steal some market share, I think, because TP5X has improved their short game spin.
Yeah.
It's a better golf ball now, but it is still on the firm side. Left dash is, I think it's lacking in that department, to be honest with you. It's not the spinniest ball around the green. So if they've found a way to make this firmer and low spin off the driver, and the wedges still spin, this could be one of the best of the year.
Yeah. And I'll be curious to see what your experience is going through the bag. I only really hit it with drivers, so I want to know kind of like, do you feel the difference? Can you tell you're flipping between one and another? Because you can when you go from a Pro V1X to a left dash Pro V1X.
You certainly can.
The sound is different, the feel is different, the launch windows are slightly different. And what we know about a firm golf ball and the launch characteristics, Callaway have kind of in their chart laid it out actually slightly different from the way we normally see that playing out.
Right.
In terms of the driver launch, the Chromesoft, the softer one being the highest, and this would be actually lower than that. So
it's strange. So all things being equal, you've said this a million times, but a firmer ball should spend less time on the face and it should come off higher.
It should exit in a slightly higher window. Yeah. So it will be very interesting to see if there's a noticeable difference with that or if it's negligible.
Some secret sauce. Maybe there's like a construction, a layer in there that allows that to happen. That'd be a good feature.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the layering and you look at the construction of it, you would actually look at it and go, looks pretty much like the Chromesoft X. Dual mantle, 4-piece, all that sort of stuff. So it doesn't look like a massive difference.
Okay.
Whether it's a little bit on the cover, but I'll be curious to see where it shows itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, these tests always expose where golf balls tend to differ, if they differ.
Yeah.
So between, all these different wedge shots and the iron shots, I think we'll see something.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with the 50-yarder.
Okay. Fashion. Good. Do it. Ooh.
Detected the different sound on that one.
Is it ever? Way firmer. Go in. Whee. Yep. It's not offensive though.
No.
X is a firm ball to begin with. This is also a firm ball. But I believe if you're in this conversation, you've already probably hit TP5X and you've probably hit left dash.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at this as probably a feel you like.
Definitely.
As firm balls go, it's one of the better ones.
It's
off
good,
the iron.
isn't it?
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, it's a good ball off the wedge.
Well, chance. Get up. That's lovely.
A lower spin for sure.
So they've done a great job with this.
This ball is really growing on me already. It doesn't feel bad at all.
In terms of the 50-yard wedge shot where we thought there might be quite a difference, it was minimal to the point where actually the LS spun a fraction more.
Yeah, you could probably trade them off in either direction there.
Definitely. Fraction of launch difference. Now, we saw one thing with it. The cover being slightly firmer, we had a couple of shots that we can end up having to throw away because it was like the tolerances were so tight with the LS that it had to be a great strike to make it spin at 8100 or it would drop to 6000.
It was finicky, I found. Yeah, a couple shots I felt like I struck well, but kind of felt a bit slippy.
Yeah.
And then we saw it, 6500 or higher launch. So there's no doubt about it, the softer X ball and the Chromesoft ball, I think they'll be more consistent off the wedges. If your face is perfectly clean and you strike it perfect, I think you're fine there.
Much in it.
But it's ridiculous to say, but I think it's less forgiving off the wedges.
We've seen that actually a little bit in some of the tests, and we've done a soft cover, retained spin in almost all conditions. Because the difference was, like we said when you were testing it, a little bit of dust on the face.
That was all it took.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
And it stopped the friction being as high. But the Chromesoft X, you didn't have that once.
I think that's an important trade-off. At a certain level, people will be really picky about consistent wedge flights from 50 yards or so. You may notice that ball isn't quite as good as the X.
Into the pitch and wedge, we saw some subtle spin differences, 300.
Yeah.
just over a degree of launch and a little bit of speed. So it did hit a slightly different apex.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of a difference there. Ultimately resulted in about the same thing.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit of a different journey to get there.
I liked the feel of that LS on the sound of it off the wedge. I found really pleasing there.
And then a similar story with the 7-iron. So it looks like the irons, there is a bit of a difference. So somebody may be struggling with iron distance, maybe iron spin.
Yes.
Could really do well with this golf ball. So a bit more speed, very similar launch, and about 300 again, similar amount of reduction in spin, resulting in 4 yards more.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's exactly what someone would go to this ball for. Take a little bit of that spin off the flight and carry it a few extra yards.
Throwing in a 4-iron for you though, there was next to zero difference. I mean, they literally traced over one another.
Yeah, they were very much identical, I think.
For you, they were basically exactly the same. 100 RPMs less, a touch more launch, actually a touch less spin, but and then the big stick. Minor,
fair.
In all fronts, faster, higher launch, lower spin, a little bit more distance.
Can't argue with it, but it's not much, is it?
It's not much. Yeah, it's not. Doesn't morph into a totally different golf ball. It's an incremental movement in a certain direction.
Certainly, and it's possible that someone with, let's say, I don't know, more club head speed, less club head speed, bit different dynamic loft, maybe a slightly different strike point, maybe they get a bit more legs out of this than I do.
The biggest difference we definitely saw in those mid and short irons, if your preference is for a firmer golf ball, again, good performance in that front, but they've not turned it into a rock.
No, not at all.
Which I think people will be quite pleased about.
I agree with you. I would hate to have seen it be high swing speed only golf ball. It's not that. In fact, I can tell you, compressing it off the irons and the driver, it's quite a lot softer to my kind of perception than TP5X and Pro V1 or Left Dash would be. So I don't know. I would think 100 mile an hour and up, you should be able to at least give it a shot. It's not a guarantee, but I would have definitely picked this out of the Chromesoft line for myself.
Yeah.
And I can see a ton of people doing that. Unless they happen to be a low spin player, I can't see why this wouldn't be your choice.
Okay, guys. Hopefully, our little sort of part there where we talked about different swing speeds will experience different things with this golf ball. If you had played a Chromesoft and you were looking to lower the spin, the X is enough of a jump. You might not need to go to the LS. Depending on the amount of compression that you can achieve, this golf ball could be slightly different. So I'd highly recommend you do your own testing on it and maybe buy a sleeve, go and take it into the course and do your own sort of testing. This is going to be different, I think. You were able to get a lot of compression out of a very firm golf ball. Lots of others will not be able to kind of get that same experience, so the golf ball may have a slightly different reaction based on that.
Callaway, they do have a bit of a reputation for having like all these golf balls that no one can play.
Yeah.
Tour players had certain balls.
Yeah,
do you think this was likely a ball that, I don't know, like Xander Schauffele was playing 2 years ago? What, from a design perspective?
I do think this was a golf ball that has not been a complete redesign. This is probably just something that they saw was quite popular amongst their guys. They knew the DNA of that golf ball and they thought the market could benefit from having that access to it.
Awesome. Well, I think it's a great ball. Yeah, well done.
I do as well. Good, excellent. Okay, guys, we will dive back into that one at a later date once we have some other golf balls coming our way. We've ordered some comparable balls for you guys to do that low spin test with. I know in the DMs and stuff like that we get, people are always asking, how do I lower spin and do I do it with loft, do I do it with golf ball? So I think we just need to dig further into the 2021 best practices for doing that.
Absolutely, sounds
Excellent.
great.
Okay, stay tuned for that. We will see you again soon.